Hello everyone, I am Karin and I'm a Swedish wool crafter. In late March 2019 I started a little craft business called Karriad. So this year in 2024 the business turns 5 years old and I want to celebrate that by teaching you how to make these small little dragons that you can use. You can have them as a necklace, you can put little pin and use them as a brooch, or maybe a hairpin, or you could just have them lying around. And this will be a series of videos, so that will be easier to record. What you need is you need a kind of skewer, something made of wood that will give it a little grip, but not too grippy, because you need to be able to push it off. So this is the barbecue stick. You can use a floral stick and whatever. I have tried the metal knitting needles, but they are too glidey. It sort of just glides around. You have to excuse my English or my Swinglish. But you need a skewer. You need some kind of wool. Heidi Feather has good wool in the UK, and Living Fells MC1 would be perfect for this. I use Swedish wool for this. You could use coarser merino, like 26 micron or coarser. If you use too fine, then it would just slide. The fibers are too thin, so they just try to escape from the needle. You could use Corriedale. You could have core wool if you want, and then add color. But this is it's rather small project, so I use the same color all the way through because it's not so expensive. We are looking first to make this shape, and to get that we will make this first on the skewer. And of course you need needles. You need good felting needles. You need high quality needles, like from Heidi Feathers, or from Living Felt, or from some kind of retailer that you would trust, not in hobby stores, and absolutely not this cheap kind of stuff because cheap needles, they will break, and high quality needles aren't too expensive, especially not when you consider that cheap needles will break in the same rate as they will sort of cost. So it's cheaper to buy a good needle to start with. You don't need so many different kind of needles for this project. You will need either a 38 gauge triangle, or a spiral 38 is fine, or a star 40 if you have that, or a star spiral 38 is okay. And you would need a finer needle as well for the eyes, like a 42 triangle or 42 spiral is fine for this. This is my needle cushion, and all these are different needles, and I'm a needle nerd, but you only need 2 or 3 needles for this project. So now we start with the head. Tear off the stripe of the color that you want to use, not too thick, because we want to get rid of the air from this. And we start with the head, you pinch it a little, and then you try to twist the skewer rather than to twist the wool. So hold it with your thumb, and now we're making the head. If you want the nose to be a little pointier, then you make it more narrow at the top, but you could also make it a little more like round. We do the final shape with the needle, of course, but if you do want a more pointy nose, then make sure that this is thinner. So make the head as big as you want. This is not a big project, so just make a something like that. And then you go to the neck. As you see, I want more narrow stripes. So this is the neck. When I do run out of wool, or if the wool sort of breaks, then just let it go and dry felt in your hands a little bit. Some wools are more difficult than others to follow, like the MC1 is totally perfect for this. Some cheaper wool that you buy in Rovings might be a little bit more tricky. But then if it doesn't want to stick like this, then you can take your 38 needle and very, very carefully attach it. But be careful because you do have a wooden skewer in here. So head and neck, and now I want to build up the body a little bit. I want the tail to be longer than the body. And how thick should the body be? Well, that's just up to you to decide. I think I need to add a little bit more on the head afterwards, because there's not too much difference between the head and the neck. And I want to be able to put eyes on it, so I need the head to be a little bit bigger. And of course you can make a skinny dragon or you can make a fat dragon. It's up to you. And try to keep it as tight as possible, because what we want now is to get rid of the air. And now for the tail, make a long tail, because if you look at this, we want to be able to let the head rest on the tail and then have a little bit of the tail sticking out, so that you can put this kind of arrow shape on it. So make a long, nice tail. So I go all the way down. And when I'm down, I go up again. You could also make this in multiple colors, if you like. I have, like this one, you see I've played with both purple and a little kind of red purplish. And the reason we want to get rid of the air is that if there is air in a project, then there's plenty of space for the wool to go in different directions. I mean, it can sink down, it will become fuzzy, it will lose its shape. So we want a firm sculpture. And I want to add a little bit more on the head. And then I can make another layer on the body. The thicker it gets, the more difficult it is to keep it tight, but that's okay, really. We will do most of it with a needle, but it's good to have a firm start. And then you dry felt it in your hand a bit. And this also, some wools do this very easy. It's very easy to dry felt with your hands, while cheaper or more coarse wool might not be. And when you take the skewer off, then hold the tail and then pull the skewer out, because if you try to pull it off from here, you will just get a long wool spiral, because this hasn't been felted at all through and through, so it will just be a spiral. You could, if you like, you could take your 38 needle and very carefully make a few, attach it a little bit, but it's so thin, and you do have a wooden skewer in it, so there's a risk that you break the needle if you felt on a thin project like this when it's on the skewer. So hold the tail and pull out the skewer. And if you have been doing this twisting too firm, then it's difficult to get out the skewer. So maybe you will have to start over again, but it's a quite quick start. So if you need to start over, then just do it. Hold tail and pull. And now you have the dragon shape. That you will attach like this. But that's for the next class. Bye for now.